Hey guys, this is day one of me trying to start a tech repair business. So this is the setup I have for soldering at the moment, and this is a Ferris wheel LED soldering practice kit that I got off Amazon. So while we're waiting for parts, I thought I'd make a video on this and see how it goes. So the first thing we do is get the iron ready, and you see here just dipping it into some tin cleaner, and it also puts like a nice layer of tin on the tip. So yeah, so the first thing we've got to do is tin these pads here and install our 10k resistor chips, and so I'm just putting a bit of flux on there first so it helps the tin flow better, and also just helps with any oxidization that might be on the contacts. So you see here I just put a little bit of tin on there, weigh it down and just try and spread it across the other pad. You don't have to try and spread it across, you can just put a tiny bit on each pad, and we'll get those ones done as well because we're going to be putting a capacitor there. And the last one, and there we go. That is the pads tinned now, and that's the reason I tried to get it to focus, but it was a bit difficult. And there you go. I struggle a little bit to get it in there, but once you get it on roughly into place like that, you can bring the iron in and you see it just move right into place. And then I accidentally knocked it out, but you saw that little initial move, give it a little wiggle, and you can see that it's not going anywhere. And go on to the other side, and I decided to add a little bit extra tin on both sides just because I wanted to make sure there's a nice strong bond. I'm not sure why, but the first 4 minutes of the video is very shit quality, and I'm not sure why, but it does get better, so I promise. It's just after the second resistor, I think. I can't remember exactly when, but it's about 4 minutes in, the quality gets a lot better. But as you can see here, we're just doing the second resistor now. And you just melt the pad there and knock it out of place again, but once you get it in place, you just lift the iron and it should. And then you go spin the board around and then do the other side. I always like to add a little bit extra tin just to make sure the bond is really good and it's actually connected to the pad. Sometimes it will be stuck there, but the connection might not be perfect. And there you go. Obviously my soldering skills are not perfect either. I haven't been soldering for too long, but that's why I'm only offering basic repairs right now, like HDMI port replacements and broken screens, you know, all the basic stuff for now. And there we go, you can see me doing a ceramic capacitor. We're installing that onto the board now. You see it gets stuck to the tweezers because I forgot to give them a clean. But once we get it on there, a little bit more of adjustment, and then there we go, bring the soldering iron in and try. You can see I didn't really get that on properly, and I thought I did, but then I go to try and wiggle it and it just moves completely out of place. So I probably didn't put enough tin on the pad, so it didn't really connect. So I give it a little push on the top, and then there we go. And then a little bit of tin on the other side just to secure that connection, and I'll go back and add more to the first side again, but I thought those wasn't really enough there, but it's all good. So then the next bit, that's an electrolytic capacitor, so you can just match the bottom of the capacitor with the diagram there. It's the same shape, so you see me just putting flux on there again. Always good to put flux on there, especially if it's been sitting around for a while. And then you tin the pads, get it ready, get it nice and warm as well. That also helps is to keep the board warm. And there we go, just place it into position. I do actually struggle a little bit to get this in. I started using the tweezers, I was like, nah, that's not working. So just come in, get it roughly in place, and I think it's connected, but it wasn't actually, and it just moved straight out. So that was my bad. where we live and learn. You see the little pin there, that's what needs to be connected to the contact. So you can see I wiggle it and it just moves on that pin, so I know it's connected now. It's a little bit off center, but as long as it's connected, it works. And I do actually go in and add a bit more solder on this side just to make sure that connection is definitely connected. There it is. Again, shit quality, I'm not sure why. Don't understand, but we'll make sure that it's not like that in the next video. And the next video is gonna be a switch actually, so we're gonna fix the switch next. Yeah, sorry, I did this bit off camera, and yeah, didn't go very well. Very sorry about that, but managed to get in there, just put the pins through and just fold it back. That's the infrared receiver tube. And we start going with the flux. A lot of it's quite repetitive, but the shots are a lot nicer from now on. There we go. See that solder melting. There's one. And we'll do the next one. Usually you would use pliers to trim the rest of the trim. Usually you would use pliers to trim the rest of the pins, but I couldn't find mine, so I just wiggled them out, which you'll see in a bit. So now we're doing the LEDs, which you can see here. There's a little plus sign, so the long poles are positive, so you do the long pins into the plus sign, and you just bend it back a little bit so it can stay into position, and then you're ready to solder. So I'm only going to show you do one of these because there's so many, and it took about 2 hours for me to actually do it, and 2 days, it was over 2 days. But yeah, you can see that's basically what we do. Just make sure that's all connected, which it looks like it is, and then do the other pin and just wiggle them off. Usually, again, like I said earlier, you'd use pliers, but I couldn't find mine, so but it's perfect. It's flush on the board and it's stuck on there, it's not going anywhere. So now enjoy the really long montage. It's not actually that long. Well, it was 2 hours of work, but I condensed it into 2.5 minutes of footage, so you don't have to watch the whole thing with me. But I've got some decent shots for you guys to enjoy. I'm not probably put a bit of music and probably come back in and out and then see how it goes. But yeah, enjoy. Hey guys, just thought I'd take the time just say if you could leave a like, follow or subscribe, it would be absolutely greatly appreciated. Could use all the support. I would like to do this as a full-time job at some point, and see where we go. At the moment we're offering basic tech repairs like broken screens, broken HDMI ports, controllers, laptops, you know, the basic stuff that I could do with the least amount of soldering. But eventually I will be wanting to learn micro soldering, and like you can see here, I just made a mistake and I accidentally ripped out one of the traces, one of the pads. This is like the bit of copper where the tin will stick to and connect the pins with the LED to. Ripped it out, and if I could do micro soldering I could repair that and connect it with some jumper wires. But no, probably not this, but it's the same kind of concept, like it's replacing traces and circuit lines on the motherboard, and that's where eventually I want to get to, so I can diagnose short circuits and repair broken motherboards and all that kind of stuff. But we'll get there eventually. But for now, if you guys could like, subscribe, leave comments if you guys want to ask any questions or give me some constructive criticism. Would be appreciated. So we are done with the time lapse now, so this is the next component that we got to do. So this is the U1 chip. I believe this is the brains of the motherboard, so it just tells you what inputs you're pressing on the remote and tells it exactly what to do. As you can see, I did try and pin it from the bottom, but I soldered it from the bottom, but it wouldn't stay in place, so I just tried to do it from the top instead. So we add on the flux. It doesn't really, you have to get like a proper full spread, because when you heat it up it just spreads around anyway. So a little goes a long way when it comes to flux. You can see I do struggle a little bit to get these done in a single pass, but and I create a bridge there between those two pins, so it was weak enough for me to just get it with my tweezers. And on the other side I do the same thing, I get two bridges. It's slightly off camera, so you don't actually get to see me fix it, which is annoying. I will get better at filming, hopefully. I mean, not hopefully, but I will get better at filming and recording and everything. Also, once I start making more money, I can upgrade my setup as well. So the next thing is the spring pins. So these basically just connect the power up. Sorry about the really bad quality there, the next two are fine. But the spring pins basically just connect the components to the power board and connects the two boards together. And you see me putting the next two on. See, these two came out perfect. I don't know why the first one didn't focus. Sorry. And there's the last one. There we go. And that is basically the Ferris wheel done. So now the Ferris wheel's done, we're gonna just hop onto the power board now. You see I drop it like an idiot. So basically we're gonna connect the USB port to that. I apologise in advance because I did screw up most of the filming for this bit. It's just annoying because this was actually a really satisfying solder bit. But yeah, I apologise. We'll get it next time. You get to see a little bit of it, so enjoy that little bit. And you see I'm getting the support pins on there first, just to keep it into place. You can see the solder didn't quite go around the whole thing, so I have to do the other sides, which I didn't get on camera, so you get to see me do the very last pin, because the rest of it was off shot. And you see it connected. Now we do the motor connector. The motor connector will be next. And we put that on there. We get a nice soldering shot. Very sorry, it's very wiggly. I couldn't stabilize it. It was really annoying. But we got there. We got a good shot of that. So next is assembly. Get those satisfying peel shots. Wasn't very satisfying, to be fair. But there you go. We got them. And once it's peeled off, we connect the motor and the power board on separate sides of the frame. So we sandwich the frames together just like that, and we put the screws in. I did struggle with this bit for a little bit, I don't know why. It's very simple and yet I still struggled a little bit, but we live and we learn. And we see getting the bolt on the other side. So the cool thing about this little Ferris wheel kit is the motor is universal, so if you put red wire up and black down, or the other way around, doesn't matter, it just changes the direction that it spins. You can have it clockwise or anti-clockwise. You see I get my little toolkit out that I bought specifically for my tech repair business. Got every screw bit that I'll need for any kind of device. And you see we just connect the motor to the power board now, and then we do the base. You hold the little nut in the little groove, and then you put the base in position and you screw it into the bolt, and it just tightens the base and the frame together and holds it in place. And now you attach now you do the screw onto the Ferris wheel and put the bolt on the other side. Make sure it's secured onto the Ferris wheel properly. it's very tiny gap there because you put all the components on there. It's hard to get a good grip on the nut. But you just attach it to the motor now, screw it on, and the instructions say not to do it too tightly, otherwise it doesn't spin. But it's actually the opposite. You actually have to get it on there quite tight onto the motor, and then because the motor itself is spinning it, not the Ferris wheel. So that bit didn't make sense. If you buy this kit, don't listen to the instructions on that bit. But there you go, it's all done. So guys, please like, subscribe, comment, let me know how I've done, and hopefully I'll improve. But I'll see you in the next video.